In this week's video, Steve picks me up at an ungodly hour.
Morning.
To travel to Holme Fen in the hope of some amazing woodland photography. And when we arrive, the conditions aren't quite what we were hoping for. I confront a little Lout.
Excuse me.
And the weather conditions change dramatically as we get caught in a thunderstorm, which resulted in me nearly messing up this video.
So if then any of these images turn out, it'd be an absolute miracle.
But does result in what I believe to be some really interesting images. The Drowned Rat reviews an incredibly innovative tripod from Freewell and has an unhealthy obsession with knobs.
A little knob. With this knob, if we can do this knob here, knob here, knob here.
So join me for a walk around Holme Fen, an enchanting woodland in Cambridgeshire, with silver birch as far as the eye can see, for a morning's photography enhanced by changeable weather conditions.
Morning.
Head northeast towards St. David's Way.
We're having as normal.
Yeah.
Is it double sausage egg around?
Double, yeah.
Lovely, thank you very much.
So Steve picked me up at 5 o'clock this morning, and as I said in the intro, I've come to Holme Fen this morning. Not been here for a little while, probably about a year and a half I'd say, but I do absolutely love it here. It's the hunting ground, if you like, of Jamie Overland. I'll put a link to his channel in the description below. But it's an amazing location, it really is. It's predominantly a sort of peat bog, if you like, with loads and loads of silver birch absolutely everywhere. Conditions wise this morning, well, you can see it, it's quite grey. There is no fog or any atmosphere at all, but yeah, there's still some opportunities for some good photos here. With the light that we have got, it's actually quite a nice soft light, so I'm going to try and make the most of that. And I've come across this little section here where you've got these grasses. I don't know what type of grasses they are, but they've got this morning dew on them, and I was wondering if I could try and make some use of those as maybe a bit of a foreground, full of trees in the background. Most of the woodlands I go to are usually littered with a carpet of, you know, bracken or ferns, but yeah, never these sort of grasses. So yeah, it's just something a little bit different. But yeah, I'm going to walk around and see if I can try and frame some compositions up. It's a beautiful, beautiful location. It's so peaceful here. And that's the best word I can use to describe the area. Really, really peaceful. So yeah, Steve's gone some way over that way. I'm going to try and catch up with him, but on the way to try and catch up with him, I'm going to see if I can frame up some images. Oh, and another thing as well, at some point this morning, I've got a tripod that's been sent to me by Freewell that I want to review. Spoiler alert, it's an absolutely amazing tripod. And yeah, I can't wait to talk you through it. Just been walking down this path and came across this that clearly some reprobate vlogger has just discarded as he goes on his travels. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can try and catch up with this vlogger and tell him what for. Excuse me. Hello. Can you just please show a bit more respect for the environment and stop littering the area?
What have I done? What have I left? Oh, mother of three. Bloody hell.
Well, this wasn't on the cards for this morning. All of a sudden it's just started raining and we've got a bit of thunder and lightning. Yeah, could make things very interesting.
With all the excitement with the change in the weather conditions, this is where this video started to go wrong. I thought I'd recorded a brilliant piece to camera at this particular point, not realising that I hadn't actually pressed record. But if I remember rightly, I was explaining how crazy the conditions were, and I'd just taken this shot here, which myself and Steve happened to notice that walking along this path, the sheer amount of rain was creating an almost foggy effect within the woodland. And we happened across this scene here with the tree leaning across the path, a beautiful scene with some lovely tones to it, and I just loved that shape of the tree on the immediate left. And what I didn't realise at the time with the amount of rain that was coming down, while trying to keep raindrops off my lens, was the free silver birch on the right hand side of the image, really anchoring that side of the image, creating a quite nice balanced scene. And also I really like the touch of bracken, which has just started to turn a lovely rich golden and brown colour. Overall, I'm really happy with how this image turned out. I'm just absolutely amazed I didn't actually get any raindrops on the lens.
So the rain slowed down and then it came back, and yeah, come back into the main part of the woodland now. And there's a fallen tree that's been here for quite a while. Certainly in the past 2 years since I was last here. I saw it last time. And at the time I thought, well, it doesn't really work for me because I think it's a bit of a gimmick shot. But basically there's this fallen tree, and in my mind it reminds me of something, some kind of alien or some kind of insect, like a praying mantis or something like that. And I'm placing that on the left hand third, and it's sort of flanked by these 2 silver birch. And yeah, with the rain that we have there, it's just softened things and made things look really quite painterly. It's a really basic composition. So the fallen tree, as I say, is bottom left hand third. You've got a silver birch on the right hand third, and then there's a one on the left hand side, just anchoring the left hand side of the image. I don't know, there's something about it that really caught my eye. So I thought I'd take the shot. Let me know what you think. But yeah, going to walk up a little bit further and see if we can frame something else up. The rain has slowed down quite a lot now, fortunately. I really need to start bringing out my lens hood because it's a bit of a nightmare. I'm having to basically wipe the lens with a microfiber towel, put my hand over the lens so the rain doesn't come onto it, do like a 5-second timer, and then hopefully get the shot with no raindrops in it. It's a bit of a nightmare, to be honest with you. So if then any of these images turn out, it'd be an absolute miracle. What I am also doing to try and give myself a bit of insurance policy, taking multiple shots, because I can always blend them together where, you know, raindrops have been wiped off in between shots. Yeah, it's possible, but yeah, it's just fun and games. Anyway, here's this shot. So from the last shot, I've just turned sort of left 90 degrees, and I have found this silver birch here. It's got this lovely sort of V shape to it. Now, normally I would look at that and go, yeah, it's quite a boring sort of shot where you've got one sort of lone tree. But today it's a little bit different, because as we're heading into autumn, obviously the colours are starting to change, and I don't know if you can work it out here, but this bracken at the base of the tree here has got some lovely rich colours to it. So obviously you've got the greens from summer, but you have got some of these pieces of bracken, if you like, where they've got a really rustic sort of brown colour, and there's some yellows in there as well, which actually elevates the scene to make it a little bit more interesting, for me at least. So yeah, you've got the tree on the left hand third, leaning across ever so slightly, and there's a silver birch in the background, which is kind of in shade at the moment, and there's another silver birch beyond, which is quite a big looking, like sort of quite straight looking one. And yeah, it's quite nice. I wouldn't say it's the best photo I've ever taken, but as a photo that shows the transition from summer into autumn, I think it's quite a good shot. So I'm going to pop that on screen and yeah, go and see what else we can find. And the rain seems to have abated for now, but I'm sure it'll be back very shortly because we're going to see some really dark clouds over there. But I have framed up a composition ready for when that rain does come back in, and I think it does need some level of atmosphere to work. But I do think it's a very nice scene. And you've got the silver birch on the left hand side, it's got this lovely gnarly shape to it. And yeah, it's kind of reaching across, to the right hand side of the scene with some, I think they're probably pine trees. There's a broken tree in the middle as well, and there's a few more silver birch sort of dotted in and sort of kind of intertwined. It's a real quite sort of complex scene, if you like, which, as I say, does need the atmosphere to really just soften it and bring it together. But yeah, I think it could work. Shooting at just over 50mm. I'm shooting the F-16 to try and get absolutely everything from front to back in focus, ready for when this rain comes back in. So yeah, just gonna have to stick it out for a bit. But while we wait for the rain, I just wanted to talk to you about a tripod that Freewell have sent me. So here it is. It's the Freewell FW-T1 Real Travel Tripod. As you can see, it's really, really compact, and it actually weighs less than 900 grams, ball head included. And it's not just a normal ball head, which we'll get onto shortly. But first, I want to go through some of the features that make this such a unique tripod. So as I mentioned, it's a really lightweight tripod, less than 900 grams. But one of my favourite features, especially for vlogging, is the legs. And I haven't seen this on any other tripods, but I believe there are some that do this feature, which is basically, rather than having to undo individual legs and lengthen them out, you can literally just do one twist and the whole leg comes out. And yeah, if you want to close it, just do it again, one twist, goes back in, and that's the same on all of the legs, like so. Absolutely incredible feature, especially, you know, when you're out doing things like vlogs and you're just doing a run and gun kind of thing, especially like we are today with the weather that we've got. I can quickly get this out, get the tripod set up, put my vlogging camera on it, do a piece to camera and move on without having to faff about with individual leg pieces. Absolutely brilliant. It extends to about 1.5 meters high, which is not the tallest tripod I've ever used, but for vlogging and just run and gun kind of stuff, it's absolutely fine. Just basically, you can do this little knob here, and that comes straight up, and you can lock it off, and you've got an extended tripod. So just do that with all the legs. And if I had my vlogging tripod on there, camera on there, it's actually not too bad a height at all. You also have the ability to slam the tripod right to the ground. Now, to do that, they thought about this. Within the center here, there's a little red twisty thing. If you undo that, which I won't do now, it actually gives you a little Allen key. And all you do, stick it in these holes here, and it detaches from this main center point. So you can take the center point out and actually put that back in, and then you can get the tripod really low to the ground. And then you can go even lower if you really want to, and actually flip it all around and actually put the ball head upside down inside the bottom of the tripod there. Fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Just weighs absolutely nothing. And with my new vlogging camera, the Osmo Pocket 3, as a run and gun setup for days like this, it weighs absolutely nothing. And I'm always looking to try and reduce the weight of my bag. So this is going to be coming with me absolutely everywhere. I know a few people have moved on to these tripods now, including Steve, Dave Griff, and it's just brilliant. I don't know why more vloggers aren't using these, because it just weighs nothing, absolutely nothing. Now the ball head, that's a real innovative feature, because it's not, as I say, just a normal ball head. I'm going to go through this really carefully because there's a lot to go through. But basically, you do have the ability with this knob here to pan the tripod round on that axis, and you can lock it off nice and easily. But you also have a normal ball head feature. So if we can do this knob here, you go, you've got your normal ball head, absolutely great. So you can quickly set up your scene, lock it off, and that's your tripod set. But they're taking it one step further, you see, because within that you also have this arm here, which if I undo, gives you the ability to smoothly pan up and down, and look how smooth that is. All of the axes, apart from the ball head itself, are fluid dampened, so you get a lovely smooth movement to the tripod. And then when you're happy with what you've got, you can twist that and it locks it off. Absolutely brilliant. But then you also have a panning solution at the top here. So if you undo this red knob here, you can then pan the top of the tripod head around. So once you've got this nice and level here, you know you're panning on a perfectly align axis. Absolutely brilliant. Really, really clever design, really, really clever. I would say this tripod is really more aimed at vloggers or people doing video work because of this fluid dampened head. But having seen a video from David Griff, I think it could be used for photography really, really quite well. Because you've got that fluid dampening, it really does help you fine tune your image, much like a gear head, to be honest with you. You know, if you just tighten that artificer slightly, you can really make minute movements. So yeah, I could see this being useful for photography, especially on big days out where you're up in the mountains and you want to keep that bag as light as possible. This, I think, could definitely come with you. And it is absolutely solid. Once you've locked this off, you know, it would take a full frame camera, no issues at all. Just talking about that, the weight rating, if you like, for the ball head is 5 kilos. So, you know, with my camera and even my 100 to 400 on, I would trust this to hold the camera nice and steady. Obviously, in a force 9 gale, you probably wouldn't use this. You'd probably use something bigger like my Benro tripod or this K&F one that I've got here with some spikes in it. Which brings me on to one of my cons of this tripod, which is the feet are, you can't remove them basically. They are fixed. I would love it if you could change these out and actually put spikes in instead. You know, like where we are today, it's a peat bog. So, you know, you'd be able to really anchor that into the ground. But maybe, you know, it's Freewell's first tripod. You know, maybe they'll take some of this advice on board, and in the next iteration of the tripod, yeah, they can think about adding these additional features. But still, as a package, can't really beat it. It's absolutely brilliant. One other little feature that's got, which is really, really cool, is the Arca Swiss plate here. Is not just a normal Arca Swiss plate. So on this knob here, don't twist the red one because that will give you the pan axis. But if you twist the black one, that releases the Arca Swiss. And it's not just a normal Arca Swiss plate, because I don't know if you can see it here, but you've got these little black nodules, and if you flip those out, and the same with this one at the bottom here, you've then got a phone holder. So if I get my phone out here, which is a big phone, it's a Google Pixel 8 Pro, it fits in perfectly. So I'll just slot that in like that, clip it in. I can then attach that to the tripod, and you'll see it's holding my phone nice and securely. So yeah, if you're just starting out vlogging, this might be the right tripod for you. If you can just get yourself a decent microphone, get this tripod, use your phone, you've got a vlogging setup. That's all you need. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But even for myself, you know, if my Osmo Pocket, like the rain we've got today, if that got damaged in the rain, my vlogging day isn't necessarily over, because I can use my phone and just attach my DJI mic to the phone. There you go, got a vlogging setup. So yeah, they've really thought of everything, they really have. It's such a compact, lightweight, versatile tripod. It also has some additional features as well, which I haven't gone through yet. It comes with an attachment that you can attach to the tripod, which you can basically use to put an Apple ID smart tag. I'm not an Apple user, so I don't know much about that, so I won't be using it on this tripod. But yeah, it's just little things like that, little features like that, that really make this such a versatile tripod. So as I mentioned, there are a couple of things that I would like to see improved in a future model, perhaps. You know, as I mentioned, the feet, I would love it if I could change those out to spikes. I would also like one that's a little bit taller, if possible. But obviously I understand why they've made it this way. It's so they can keep it as light as possible, which I absolutely commend them for. But yeah, if they bring out some further models in future, one that's slightly heavier, but has those additional features such as being a bit higher and having spiked feet, it would be, for me, the complete tripod. Really cannot fault it. So I hope you've enjoyed this review of the Freewell Real Travel Tripod FWT1. And if you are interested in purchasing one, I'll put a link in the description below. Please do go and check it out. But yeah, as you can see, the sun's now back out. I don't think we're going to get that rain, so I don't think we're going to get the shot here that I was framing up. What I am going to do now is make my way back up this way. I suspect Steve's gone back to the van, and hopefully he's put a cup of tea on. and yeah, we'll have a cup of tea and then assess what we're going to do from there. Right, I'm back at the van with Steve, and I think we're going to call it for this morning. It's been absolutely brilliant, but it's just gone really bright now. But just while we're here, I thought I'd grab the opinion of Steve, who's been using the Freewell tripod now for quite a few months.
About 10 months, something like
About
that.
10 months.
Yeah, when it first was released, I had it, so.
And what are your thoughts on it?
Love it, absolutely love it. Still love it as much as I did when I first had it, so.
There you go.
The only, if I can think of a negative, and it's my fault when I use it, is I don't lock the leg in enough.
Yeah.
And sometimes it drops a little bit, but that's just user error. It's nothing to do with the tripod, and I wish it had spikes on the bottom.
I said that in my review as well. I wish it had spikes, especially somewhere like this where you can just really anchor it in the ground.
Yeah, but you don't realise how lightweight it is.
Oh, it's,
With the head and everything on, it's so lightweight.
well, I'm actually holding it right now, and I've got no arm ache at all holding it with a camera. It weighs nothing. It's absolutely brilliant. I wish it was a little bit taller as well, but again, if it was taller, it wouldn't be as light. So it's a compromise.
Yeah, that's right. It's but I think there's enough room there for them to make a slightly larger one.
Yeah.
Let's say, because it's so light. Use the same head format and everything, but just use maybe another section on it.
Freewell FWT1XL. There you go.
With spikes.
With spikes. But there you go. I mean, first-hand thoughts from Steve, who's been using it for absolutely months now, and he's had no issues with it, apart from his own issues.
Yeah, just my own personal issues.
So there you go. If you are interested in the tripod, as I say, there's a link in the description below. Please check it out. So as I say, I think we're pretty much done. It's gone really bright blue sky now, absolutely wet through. But as I say, I've had a fantastic morning. Really enjoyed getting out in Holme Fen. It's a fantastic location. It's only an hour and 20 minutes away from home. One I can keep returning to time and time again and always get something new. So yeah, as I say, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the review of the tripod as well. If you have, please consider hitting the like button. And if you've really enjoyed it, it'd help if you subscribe to the channel. But anyway, thank you again. See you soon.